I saw into your mind. They took you. Just the same as me. And to think, I was ready to decorate the ground with your innards. Apologies.
Hello, my little Luxes. Welcome to another episode of Charsie Chats. And I am your host, cosplayer Charsie Lux. And this is my wonderful hubby and partner in crime,
Archanon.
Yay! In fact, this is Archanon's first time. Ah, oh, Callie, you still hit it. I told her to keep her butt in that chair, but you know, cats listen so well.
So well.
But yeah, this is Archanon's first Charsie Chats that he's doing with me.
Yes.
So I guess it's not really a Charsie's Chats, it's a Charsie and Archanon Chats.
We chat about something we both enjoy.
So, as I've been stating for quite some time, it's like after my Willy's Wonderland copyright claim and... Well, yeah, the movie's amazing.
It's a good movie.
But I'm very disappointed in YouTube right now and the fact that it's like copyright claims on things that are fair use and that I disputed it, yet the company decided to keep it because, you know, they can take advantage of it.
Because they can make money on all the money she's making.
Yeah, I make so much money. So we decided we were going to talk about something that brings us joy. Because of the fact that it's like, I'm sick and tired of all the negativeness that every time I'm on social media, which obviously I have taken a very long hiatus from social media. It is the best that I have felt in a very long time. Because there's just too much negativeness online, and I just don't feel like dealing with it right now. So we decided we were going to talk about something that we love and enjoy, and that we both have equal game time on.
Equal game time, maybe within about a 5-hour stretch, which I haven't fully played in probably 2 weeks or so. Somebody's caught up to me on game hours.
I have the opportunity to do that, though. Yeah. I should have been smart. I should have been streaming. There's been plenty of people streaming the game. I still could turn around and do it
whenever. If anybody was interested, let us know.
But we are going to be talking about Baldur's Gate 3. And we love how all of the other games before this game came out, because they knew how good it was going to be, kept trying to cause unnecessary controversies with it.
Drama. The anti-Baldur's Gate 3 campaign that started about 3 weeks before its start was so strong, and it was because they were scared, and they every right should be, because well, Baldur's Gate is exactly what it needs to be.
And obviously, while we talk about it, we're going to explain exactly why Baldur's Gate 3 has a new definition for gaming and games that should be coming out in the future.
And at least they should at least try to listen to their fan base, which is what Larian Studios did. They 100%. Well, I can go back to...
We'll start from the very beginning.
Yeah, like the very beginning is on October 6th, 2020. I have it memorized because I looked at my receipt. I got a phone call from my good friend Sean, whom me and him play games together all the time, and we played a game called Divinity Original Sin. And we loved that game. We were like, man, if they would just make a D&D game, they would just knock it out of the ballpark. And he calls me and goes, hey, I have some news for you. Baldur's Gate 3 got announced. I'm like, oh yeah, who's making it? EA or something like that? And he's like, no, Larian. And I'm like, can I buy it now?
Shut up and take my money.
Yes. Okay, going. So
buying the pregame.
The moment I heard about it, the moment the beta was open, I was in full send, and that was in 2020. So 3 years later,
I remember that you and Sean were sitting there and we were watching the trailer for everything.
Yeah, the trailer was, the cinematic was so good. Everything about it was just exciting, and it was we didn't know what we were actually going to get, which was a game changer at the end of the day. Since that moment, I played the beta. I didn't have a lot of hours in the beta because it was like a short hour or so deal, and I didn't want to overplay it.
How far up to in the beta did it actually go to?
The beta only did the Nautiloid ship.
Okay.
But it was actually different than what you played.
Okay.
There was actually a lot more to it. The Nautiloid ship that everybody else plays after, who didn't play in the beta, is actually a much shorter version of the Nautiloid. There was like a whole nother deck sequence and this other thing that went on.
That's right, because when you guys played it, you guys had to have the whole sequence where you collected the purple jar things,
and so we could,
had to throw it to blow up like the demons or whatever.
Yeah, we always used that, and so it was kind of a funny thing when my buddy Sean and I, because me and him started playing it right away when it came out, and it changed on us. We're like, oh, and we just kept going through and going, oh, well, I finally convinced Charsie here to, hey, you should probably play this with us. I'll teach you the game. It's got controller support. We'll all sit here and play it, and it's not hard to kind of pick up on. And she started playing, and we're having a good time. We're going through the game. Now we're 6 games in. Just you play, every time you play the game, something different happens.
So I was a little held off from doing it in the first place because I'm used to when Archanon and I would game, especially for like Borderlands and that kind of stuff. I like doing the split screen where you are sitting side by side and you are gaming. Whereas with this, the best way to do it is literally being on your own computer and playing from your own screen. And I wasn't that type of gamer. I'm like, I prefer sitting next to, because I'm sorry, I grew up
couch gaming with GoldenEye,
Mario Kart, Super Mario,
all of those things. Like that's how she games, and if she doesn't do that, she will sit and watch someone game. She, you know, and watch someone play a game to get the story in.
I'm the reason streamers even exist. So.
Yeah, so I finally convinced her. I was like, you just go ahead. I'll buy it for you. We bought it for her. So she has her own copy on her computer and my computer, obviously, and we got together with Sean and another friend of ours and just absolutely been having a blast with it.
Playing it really good. Well, Baldur's Gate 3, or Larian, was really smart because the release date was going to be really, really close to Starfield's release date. Yes. Well, they had been planning this long enough that they decided, you know what, we're going to release our game a month ahead of time. So that they weren't releasing it at the exact same time. And
that was just such a smart move.
So smart. Well, and even after, it's like we stopped playing our group game because Starfield came out and
one of the
buddies,
big Bethesda guy,
ended up getting Starfield.
He would still jump over and play, though.
Yeah,
if we said, hey, we're going to play it this time, he'd come over and make sure to play Baldur's Gate.
And he probably would now.
Oh, absolutely.
Just the problem is that I've been off on my own games now.
She's got like 6
I have
saves going.
The problem, well, it's not a problem. The wonderful thing about Baldur's Gate 3 is that the different scenarios you can have. And this is what makes this game like no other game. The fact that there's alternative endings. You can take the evil route. You can take the good route. You can romance several different of the companions in it. Each one has a different romance type of way, but it could go 2 different ways.
Oh, absolutely. You
have the romances if you go down the evil path, and then you also have the good paths. And it's rewarding in any way that you have it.
There's games out there, don't get us wrong, there are games out there that have done the multiple endings, multiple stories, multiple routes before. This one just hit a little different. Because if you play Divinity Original Sin 2, it is very similar. Larian just had to come up with the whole 5th edition rule setting and be able to convert that into a game. But they made everything seem so true to form that you feel attached to the characters, and the writing and the voice acting and the portrayals. There's 248 voice actors.
I was gonna say,
everything is motion capped voice lines, so the characters, when they're talking, everything's happening at the same time. Not to knock Starfield and everything it does, but if you're watching like some of these game awards and they're showing these voice actors and their characters they're portraying, you look at like Baldur's Gate, this character's doing this and animated and talking to the person, and then Starfield is this, hi, how are you doing today? Like, that's the face shot you get. So it's
stiff.
It's stiff.
There's no emotion to it.
It just doesn't feel the same. So nothing against Bethesda, nothing against Starfield, but because that's its own honest epic game in its own right, this game here gave you everything for $60. You're never going to get a DLC, and if they do, I don't know if they'll charge you. Maybe they will. You know what? I'll buy it. They just went, hey, here, $60. You have the whole game. Cool. It's from beginning to end. No, you don't have to buy Act 3. You don't have to get to the big bad guy at the end by buying the next DLC we have coming.
You don't have to buy this to unlock this companion.
Yeah,
no,
they're all here.
It's all just one set price for everything.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of in gaming nowadays.
Yeah.
Which you have your big thing that you always say about what makes Baldur's Gate 3 so special.
Oh, well, there's Baldur's Gate 3 to me for this generation is the fact that it's this generation's youngsters and gamers alike. It's your Final Fantasy VII for like us growing up in our generation. We all loved Final Fantasy VII. We're all playing these games, and we've all played it, and we were all just, wow, there's 3 discs. Wow, there's this huge story. There's these cool characters. I love this thing, and there's this big bad guy, and there's a kind of a push and pull on all that. This gaming, you could do that as much as you want in nowadays technology. So this game took today's technology and said, here's what you can do in an open world, and be able to give the choices matter.
Yeah, choices matter in this game.
I'm trying to think of the name of the Mass Effect. That's another one that's a very good version of, you know, choices matter, and everything going down the line throughout all the games, and you're following the same storyline. But again, that's 3-4 games of story. You know, this is just a single game, Baldur's Gate 3, it's done. And it falls in place of D&D lore, which some of us, myself included, were playing this game, spoilers, and sometimes we're like, wait, he's who? Mm-hmm. Did he just call him Baldarian? No. And me and my friend are on comms on Steam, and Charsie's sitting there just like, why? What's that so big? I was like, he's the founder of Baldur's Gate.
It's like, oh, okay. Well, this is the big news.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Like, does this... I'm half tempted to be like, hey, Wizards, is this canon, or is this just like an alternate universe canon? Because that makes a whole new thing sometimes, so... The
intricateness that they put in for every character.
Oh.
And it's the one thing that I was telling Archanon several different times. I'm like, I've noticed through several different playthroughs, obviously, I just have not finished the game on purpose.
Well,
because the first time I would like to finish the game, I would like to do it with Archanon.
And work and other things keep getting away from me to be able to just sit and play. So hopefully after we record this, we'll probably play for like 6 hours.
Hopefully. We'll find out. I mean, I will.
Yeah, she will. I might pass out.
But it's like I told Archanon, I'm like, I have noticed the true most fascinating storylines that you have for the companions are definitely Shadowheart and Asterion. But
both those characters.
The most wholesome and the best character of the entire game, well, it's almost neck and neck because Karlach is up there too.
Oh,
Karlach is lovable.
Karlach's huggable and you just save her. It's fine.
But Karlach herself even says in the game that the best of us is Will. And his storyline and his romance scenes are just so wholesome and adorable. And it's like, if you're going down a different path of who you are romancing in the game, mind you, the other characters still try to romance you. So when you get to Will's romance scene, his first one is that he asks you to dance. Are you chasing my shadow?
Yeah, I think she was chasing
the shadow. Like, what is she hopping at?
I was so confused.
Our cat Athena just pounced for no reason on the floor, and the only thing I can think of is she's chasing my hand shadow. Will be over doing this whole dance number, and it's the sweetest thing. And it's like, if you're romancing someone else, and when he goes to kiss your character and you reject him, it's like, it's the most heartbreaking scene. And it's like, it breaks your heart.
No. Don't like that.
It's like, why?
Well, the investment you get with these characters is also just the biggest thing. Like we the other game we played a lot back in the day when we were going to college was Borderlands 2, and we loved every one of those characters. The writing was funny, all that fun stuff. It was entertaining to play. And
our cat, she's just full of it.
She's just full of it.
It's our 13-year-old cat, and she's Anyway.
So we played it, we loved the character, we loved the writing. Same thing for this game. Like the writing, so she was talking about Will. Will is the D&D paladin of the group. He's the good guy. He's a warlock that's tied to a demon, but that's a whole nother story. But his personality is the paladin noble personality that you would expect out of a paladin. Even though he's technically not one.
That all he does is
selfless.
He's selfless. He sacrifices.
He'll do whatever it takes to do the better, even if that means giving himself up at the same time. So, like, you have Will. You can go down the whole list of the main characters outside yourself. You know, Karlach is a fiery barbarian whom you just want to just take home and cuddle.
She's the giant teddy bear.
She's a giant teddy bear.
And that always says, fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah, or hey, soldier. So, you have Asterion, who is the...
Broken vampire.
Which, when I first started playing the game, and I first learned of Asterion's character in the beta, I was like, he's going to be my least favorite character because it's just another freaking vampire. Way to write another freaking vampire to make it probably one of the best vampire stories I've ever heard.
Yes.
And nothing against Bram Stoker, nothing against Blade, nothing against all of those. Asterion's story, since you can take it 16 different ways while playing it in different playthroughs.
Your alternate endings.
Is heartfelt and caring and
I
sad.
cried.
Yeah,
oh God,
she called me crying. She called me crying. She's just weeping. I'm like, what's wrong? Did the cat finally die? And she's like...
I'm like, no, I got to the part where Asterion has to fight. They made his, oh my God, his master.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, if you played the game, you know what scene I'm talking about. Asterion is voiced, well, acted.
Voiced and acted, because motion cap.
Yes, with the motion cap and everything, that is Neil Newbon. And he makes the character. Now, fantastic thing about all of these characters, which I'll link it in the description below. There is an entire D&D campaign game that's run by the actors and actresses of this game.
Did Mercer play that? Run it? I think Mercer ran it.
I don't think Mercer did. I don't remember Mercer being in it.
No, you're right. You're right. It was run by the other guy. I can't remember his name. Yeah.
But, yeah. So, I mean, that's fun in itself.
Yeah, they all played their characters.
They all did a fun thing on Twitter that helped with a nice promotion of it, where they were all, like, saying everyday things, but this is how Karlach would say it. And people were asking on Twitter for them to say everyday lines, and they had, like, Karlach saying that I want to go to a Build-A-Bear, because it's Karlach, and she has a stuffed bear in the game that's very important to her. Teddy bears.
And she loves fluffy things.
And children.
They just kept having, and they were all having a fun time with it.
Yes, I'm a gatekeeper and a hater. I'm also God's favourite princess and the most interesting girl in the world.
Forgive and forget. No. Resent and remember.
I hate this place. I want to go to Build-A-Bear.
Ha! In Baldur's Gate, you don't stuff the bear. The bear stuffs you. If you're lucky.
Have I stabbed you? No. Then I'm being nice.
Pardon my French, but are you a douche-baguette?
Well, 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 if it isn't the consequences of your own actions. Oh, roll initiative.
Good luck discussing your opinion with me. When I'm hurling boulders at you from the peak of a mountain.
And it just kind of pushed the thing to where Neil has his own Twitch, he plays the game, playing either
He's romancing himself.
Romancing himself, which gets really funny.
He blushes, like literally.
Asterion is, he's a treat.
And
lack of a better term.
Yeah. And I mean, we could literally go down the path for every single one of them. I mean,
could stand here and talk for the next 20,000 years about this game because it is that good.
Which is why we wanted to talk about it. Because obviously, like we said, at the beginning of the whole thing was the whole campaign, which we know it was pushed from other games trying to say like, oh, boycott this game because of this and that, and it's like, no, we're not even going to talk about it.
You can do things with a bear.
Yeah. But
it's a choice.
One of those things. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
And nobody focuses on it. So, I mean, it
is the most minuscule part of that game. Like,
it's not even necessary, and you have the choice, and you don't even have to romance that character either.
I actually got to look at Sean's achievements because I know he got an achievement for the locket that I found him in that one area. And I'm like, I'm wondering how many people have that achievement.
About the locket?
The locket, because there's a locket you can find that literally starts a whole nother side quest. I found it because I went, hey, I bet I can get down there, and I used some spells and some game tricks and got down there.
There is a quest line for it, because
I know.
me doing this new run for it, it does pop up a marker, but you have to hit that quest. So it might
be easier to find than what it is.
And see what the percentage is. If we remember to look it up, it'll be somewhere around here saying the percentage.
Because that locket quest lasted through an act, like an act and a half.
Yes.
Because it was just like, it started in Act 2 and it ended in Act 3. The stories are endless in the game, and the funny times are just as fun.
And if you're playing with friends, it's even better.
Absolutely.
But we also wanted to talk about the fact that it's like...
Yeah.
You kept looking at the group communities of how many people were playing the games online.
It's still being played by 100,000 people a day, easy. While Starfield, you know, I don't want to say
I think the last time was like 14,000.
14,000.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
And it's not, again, nothing knocking Starfield. It's a good game. I might play it tonight after we play Baldur's Gate or before or whatever, but Baldur's Gate is a game changer. Baldur's Gate, in the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see
games changing.
Games kind of going, hey, we need to kind of really think about what we're doing, because Baldur's Gate, Larian listened to their players. We played the beta, we went, hey, this is cool, have you ever thought about this? And there's also a lot of stuff out there. There's one thing, and I don't even know if she knows this, there's a certain spell in D&D that is not in the game, and they didn't put it in the game on purpose, because it would have literally doubled the size of the game.
Yeah.
Dispel magic.
You told me about that.
Yeah, I forgot if I told you about that. Like, it would have literally, because the whole game's based off magical auras, so if you can just walk around going, it's gone, and then rest and come back, and it's gone, and you just kind of beat the game in a cheese way. Not that you can't cheese the game in, like, 10 minutes. People have done it, like, putting Shadowheart's corpse in a cat something and doing other things, and
oh my god,
it's crazy. Like, people find out the craziest things, and it totes to you like, I don't understand it.
Well, the other thing that it's like, you can play as these, instead of making your own character, you can play as a companion.
Yeah, and get their story.
And each one is different. Because right now I'm doing a Shadowheart, but I'm purposely doing it in a way where she's not going to be a follower of Shar. And if you played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. So it's interesting getting that storyline, but at the same time, you have Karlach's story, where somebody discovered while doing Karlach's storyline that, because everybody wanted to see a romance scene with, Damen?
Damen?
I
Damen.
think it's
the blacksmith.
Like Damon Damen. Yeah, he's the tiefling blacksmith.
And
everybody loves him.
Shipping them, like, fan art of these two, because he's not a main character, so they didn't think there was anything there. Like, there's no ship going on.
Somebody actually did the storyline with Karlach.
And did the right choices.
Did
all the right choices.
Because it is. It's by however you play this is what is going to happen. And she has a daydream of being with Damen.
And everybody lost their minds. And that's great, like, because, and that's the other catch, is Larian thought about it. Everybody, they thought about it over the past 3 years. They thought about, hey, what about this? Hey, what if that happened? What if this happened? What if this person said? What if that person said? What if this happens? What if that? And the game doesn't break. The game doesn't go, oh, that doesn't happen. Doesn't work that way anymore. There's some way around it that the game will go happen. I mean, there's obviously main quest line won't stop.
Okay, yes.
Main quest line won't stop.
Side quest lines will disappear.
side quest lines will. Like, sometimes that just happens. I mean, we've all
A
played
certain
Skyrim and
character
murdered a
will
chicken.
die. And even ones that I try, save scumming because I don't want this character to die.
Oh my god.
And then I realized there's nothing I can do because I don't have a certain Jahira to help me on this quest line, and I have to watch a certain hamster cry. If you know what I'm talking about.
She disowned her main solo campaign because it's stuck
I'm mad
at that point.
It's in timeout. It's still in timeout.
Oh no, she didn't.
So what I was gonna get back to was
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It is absolutely fine. Our first playthrough with the group of us, and we're playing the game. We get to Act 2. And for those of you who have, again, spoilers, there's a spot
we
where...
shouldn't worry about spoilers because there are people who live stream this
Oh, absolutely.
game,
But
so.
hey, you know what? That's up to you. I still say it. I'm a nice guy. So in Act 2, you get to the Last Light Inn. The Last Light Inn is filled with all the refugee tieflings from Act 1. They're trying to get through. And you start talking to people, and you're talking to people, and you're like, hey, yeah, cool, hey, here's Damon, here's this guy, this guy. We're like, yeah, cool. Yeah. And we accidentally start an event, and we're like, oh, an event, let's do this. So we start doing the event. Well, this one chick gets killed and taken away. And when she gets taken away, everybody dies or tries to kill you. And there's no going back.
Emotional damage!
So if you're trying to love interest Karlach, per se, you can't do it anymore because Damon's dead. You need Damon. So I stood there like, well, that's fucked.
Well, supposedly, in one of the hotfixes that Larian had put in a scenario, because that had happened, and people were like, well, if he's dead, how are we supposed to continue this storyline with Karlach?
Oh,
so
yeah.
supposedly there is another way, but that's the other thing. Larian is always listening and always doing these hot fixes. Yeah. Like in their first hot fix, they accidentally, in the Last Light Inn, there's a cat called Majesty. And he was a Rex cat. So he's a no-haired, no-furred cat. And all of a sudden he became a long-haired cat. And
everybody's like, wait, why?
So in the next hotfix, it said his Majesty is back to his original form and was back to being a Rex cat.
They edit things a little bit here and there, but they basically fix bugs. They're not adding scenes
not major things, but
they're not adding
are
scenes
things that are made better.
Yeah, they're not adding scenes. They're not changing dialogue for the most part that I know of. And if they do, it's maybe like one word or two here or there. But it's more about playability. Does things clip? Do things? And I mean, it's a game. It's a huge game.
Where does it glitch?
You know, where's it glitch? What are we going to do about it? And they've done a great job with that. And for that, right, in last month and then in this next month, I hope that they also sweep the next game awards they go to.
I was going to say, you had it up on your phone. The awards that they won, because we knew that Neil Newbon won Supporting Actor of the Year for... And, I mean, he was going up against Laura Bailey and several other characters that it's
people
like...
we all know.
Yeah. And it's like, especially if you watch Critical Role, I'm like, oh my god, he beat Laura Bailey. And, I mean, it's a huge congratulations to him, but I mean...
At the 41st Golden Joystick Awards, over 5 million public votes were cast. Larian Studios came out on top, getting the coveted Game of the Year title, as well as Best Game Community, Best Storytelling, Best Visual Design, PC Game of the Year, Studio of the Year, and Neil Newbon, who portrayed Asterion in Baldur's Gate 3, won Best Supporting Performer. His stories...
Well, his speech for the whole thing was heartfelt, and I was gonna say, so go on his channel. He's got his own YouTube channel, and
if I could promote somebody, he'd be it.
He's definitely it. I mean, and it's awesome going through his old content too, because you can see how, what were you calling it, when they literally are
motion
acting.
Cap?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm like, that special word. I am not technical.
Nope.
But he shows it. Yeah. Like, he had a shooter game that he was a part of, and I mean, the man is fit anyways, and they
he's pretty.
He's very pretty. He's in a full suit and everything that you can tell it's got all the monitors and everything, and he's doing the run through in the scenario, and I mean, it's amazing to think about.
Yeah. But he got that, And then
the new one that's coming up.
Oh, the Game Awards is the next other one that's coming up on December 7th.
And he's nominated for best actor.
Yeah, because they don't.
I mean, they are actors. They're not necessarily supporting actors because guess what? You can play the character as a main character.
Right.
To be fair.
Well, my phone's freezing, so there we go. Baldur's Gate has got similar nominations. It's Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Score and Music, Best Performance from Neil Newbon, and then Best Community Sport, Best RPG.
Support, not sport.
Oh, support. Best Community Support.
Robot, we be.
Best RPG and Best Multiplayer. Yes. So, obviously, there's always criticism no matter where you go. In the Game of the Year awards, the big game show awards, like the Oscars is what that is for gaming, there are some games that aren't even nominated that people are really upset about. Hogwarts Legacy, no nominations.
No nomination whatsoever.
And again, a good game, but sold well because of the IP. Basically, it's a Harry Potter game. Everybody bought it because it said Harry Potter. Now, is it a bad game? No. Is it a great game? Sure. Is it Baldur's Gate? No.
No.
Like
that's the thing, and we're going to be saying that. I'm going to be comparing everything to Baldur's Gate 3.
It's unfortunate. I will be as biased as she is.
I will go back to. We kept trying to play Borderlands 3.
Oh, I can't do
it. It was frustrating anyways, and now playing Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3. There's no way I would be able to go back.
Yeah, and I love the Borderlands series, and I love it to death, but it's like that game just has so many problems.
And they're not.
We're trying to play with our friend. It's been out for 5 years, and it still glitches on us. And I'm like, come on, guys, I can't be okay with that. Anyway, the
anger.
Before I get mad. Good on them to be able to have all the nominations they have. It's great. I'm hoping that
well-deserved
major studios out there that they take something out of this instead of being a cash grab game or a microtransaction game or another arena game or another battleground game or something like that. Like when you make your next game, which Larian has already announced, they've been working on one, which by the way, it took them 6 years to make Baldur's Gate 3.
On a smaller budget than most games.
On half the budget. No, a quarter of the budget of Starfield at the same amount of time. So, and yes, and like I was trying to explain to her, that's nothing against how well they did it or how it was literally just the technology involved cost more to do Starfield. I understand that. But when you spend $400 million on Starfield and you spend $100 million on Baldur's Gate 3,
and have a smaller crew to work on it.
Gaming people, look, this is why there was a smear ad campaign against them, because
they kind of knew.
They kind of knew. They're like, these guys are going to make us look terrible. And they did. And like, they did. I mean, it's nothing against those games. The people who worked on those games did a hard job work on it.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit against him.
And a little bit of la 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 la.
But though they really, Baldur's Gate just did it out of love and out of want, rather than being pushed by necessity. And now the gaming community is showing, hey, this is what we want. So 3 years from now, I expect a title from either EA or BioWare or something like that that's going to be very similar to this, which is fine. I like a good competition, and I also like good games coming from good competition.
And can you imagine if we start getting games like this and start even like doing VR and that idea?
Don't do that to me. I don't own a VR set, and I have zero want to own a VR set. But if they go, you want to play D&D while just sitting on your couch? Even more?
No, I feel like if we're gonna do a VR, you gotta have the full that you are up and you have the motion.
Get the little like walking thing and you're swinging the sword. Yeah, I mean that'd be fun.
I would totally do it. Guess what? I'd be in a lot better shape right now.
I'll figure it out. I'll just be a caster. I'll just stand there and just, you're dead. I'll walk away. Because that's what I play usually anyways, a caster. I'm not a fighter, typically.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash. That's why I love Karlach.
Yes. Oh my god. And you can tell the love from all the actors and actresses, and they're all still talking about it.
They're not going to stop.
No.
It's their. This is
their baby.
Those 8 people probably never have to take another voice acting job in their life.
Yep.
Especially Neil. But he will, obviously.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I mean, they could run on this and go to cons and go to things and just make their money for the next at least 4 years. At least. And when the next one comes out, if it's another Baldur's Gate, if it's not, I vote let's do Icewind Dale or Dragonlance. And if we really want this one to go crazy, let's go to Eberron. She has no idea what Eberron is. It's the steampunk D&D world.
Oh. Well, yes, please.
It's all artifacts and artificers and that type of stuff, and it steam-powered stuff.
I mean,
Eberron.
I'm sold at steampunk. That's all.
Go to Eberron. That'd be your next bet, honestly. Somebody make an Eberron game. I might even be saying that entirely wrong, and I apologize. It's like, I think it's Eberron. No.
A few moments later.
It is Eberron. I was like, wait, is that how it's said?
Double checked it real quick. I mean, I say that all the time. I mispronounce things, or I'll say things backwards. Like earlier today, I was trying to say Starfield, and I said like
Stargate,
3 different
Stars. She didn't say Star Wars, thank God. But or Star Trek.
Starfall.
Starfall.
And then I think I said Skyfall, which is a movie.
Yep. And she went all the way down, and then it made my brain freeze. I'm like, what is she talking about?
Starfield? Yeah, that thing.
Oh yeah, Starfield.
So then we also looked up, for my sake, was that one of the other things that Neil, that obviously he's a big voice actor now, but he's also done live action things. And the one that I found that fascinated me, which it's like I need to find the show again to watch it, which I think it's still on Netflix to watch, but we don't have Netflix anymore. I don't like Netflix for several reasons.
Anyway.
But there's a show that was on there that I absolutely loved, and it's called Residue. And I looked up, and he's one of the characters on it. And I'm like, oh my god, so I've seen Neil before.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like you see the actor, and it's like you kind of recognize him, but it's like you don't distinctly.
Yeah.
Because I used to watch Residue all the time, and I always wanted them to finish the series, but they never did.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. She was talking about it. I was like, I'm lost, and it's not the show.
It's an older one. It was from 2015.
Yeah.
So it's
it was
from
a minute
ways ago. But I used to watch it all the time. But I'd always prefer... I don't know why. I always forget the name of it. I'm always like, it starts with an R. But it's Residue.
Requiem.
No, not Requiem. And this is why I forget. But I think... Resentment. I think we covered everything that we wanted to distinctly cover for... I mean, like we said, it's...
If you have the capability to play the game, play it. If you have a PS5,
it's worth the money.
It. If you have a PC, it's on Steam. Yes, it's $60. You know what? It's $60 you could sink 400 hours into, and you won't remember that $60 being a bad deal.
And there's so many different scenarios, and they have a main campaign that you can follow. That it's technically an evil campaign.
The Dark Urge.
The Dark Urge.
Oh god, I can't do it.
I saw several streamers doing the Dark Urge, not realizing what it was, and then when they start doing evil things, because it's the Dark Urge.
I'm all for some, mass murder and mayhem in video games. Like, the farmer didn't deserve it, but he had some money, so I'm sorry. Anyway,
but when you're killing your lover...
when I've heard, because I stopped the moment I heard, I'm like, no, I can't do it. You literally can't play it with Karlach, and Karlach's my girl. You have to take her head. Nope, I won't do it. Sorry, that's my own opinion. Thanks, Larian, for just completely cutting. No, I'm kidding. It's not your fault. It's my own choice. One of these days, I'll just, suck it up and just black out during that time.
We'll just play, like, drunk the whole time.
You can be drunk. I might push other buttons, but...
Smash buttons! And it is one of those things where it's like I could record it while I'm playing it and put it up.
Just go on Twitch and live stream and talk to everybody.
I'm terrible at being able to game and read the comments.
Actually, yeah, you're right. You don't want her on Twitch. It'd be terrible.
No.
She'd be playing, and you'd be like typing over here, and she would never see what you say. I would not even pay attention to
you.
No, I'm just playing.
I'm playing.
Don't mind me.
You just talk to me.
Mother! Oh, now she's banned.
I'm banned. Banned for all the swear words.
All the swear words.
Stop it. Get some help.
But yeah, just wanted to come on here, just to actually do an episode with Archanon. Been wanting to. We're eventually going to do an Am I the A-hole, reading off a whole bunch of different scenarios, and I can't wait. Because some of the ones...
The answer is, I am always that guy. That's always that. I mean, that's the answer. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, probably.
It's probably his fault.
100%.
But yeah, so... I guess we can say happy Saturday, because today is Saturday.
And whenever you get this, happy day.
Happy whatever
Happy day that ends with a Y.
Well... How many people would stop and be like, every day ends in a Y? That's the point. I think somebody got me on that like years ago when I was in grade school, and I'm like, but every day ends in Y. They're like, that's the point, stupid. I'm like, but I'm not stupid because I got it. Duh. But yeah, if you have the opportunity to play Baldur's Gate 3, if you love any form of fantasy games, this is the game to play. Yeah. And yes, there are options. If you don't like nudity or that extreme, you can turn it off.
I mean, actually, some countries, they don't even get a choice.
I was going to say, I think it was in Japan.
Japan of all places.
They just won't even allow it. Yeah, that's the funniest one. Even though they have hentai.
Let's talk about JoJo real quick.
Yeah, mind you, when I said all my projects I've been working on, I cleaned out the closet and I found all of our old loot crates. And he was looking at this hat in the closet, like, where did this come from? I'm like, let me tell you about a story about a loot crate problem we had.
So now I'm wearing this silly hat because it's a silly hat.
It's purple. He loves purple.
I love purple. It does have a sentiment to my heart.
But now we were blabbering on. We love Baldur's Gate 3.
Midwest goodbyes.
Midwest
We'll be here for the next half hour.
And
somebody grab a Long Island iced tea.
And cheers on us. But yes, I guess I should go through my spiel. Can I remember my spiel? It's been a couple weeks. Thank you so much for joining us here on another Charsie Chats, whatever the hell it is.
Charsie's something.
Charsie's something. I am Charsie Lux. This is my wonderful husband, Archanon. And if you enjoyed what you saw here, please come subscribe. And if you are interested in following me on my other social medias, even though I'm not really partaking in it right now, you can follow me on my Twitter or my Blue Sky for Charsie Lux with 3 X's, or my Instagram or Threads for Charsie87.
It's not Twitter.
I call it Twitter because fuck X.
I'm done. Later, guys.
And if you would also like to come help support me and my wonderful husband, come join my Patreon for Charsie Lux. And I am the afterlife of the party, and I would love for you to come join me in the afterlife of the party. And always remember to slay, subscribe, like, and always be yourself, because in the end all we truly have is ourselves.
And dice rolls.
Dice rollies.
Rollies.
Thank you guys. Have a luxxycharms kind of day. Bye. You want to say hi? Yeah. This is my queen. This is my darling. Do you want down? Do you want down?
Doesn't look like she does.
She's pushing.
She's struggling.
She's pushing. She's on a struggle bus.
Struggle kitty.
As Callie stares at her.
Love the kitty.
No, they're gonna get in a big fight. That is not. I mean, that's not the entertainment I want. Yep. See?
No, we can't be near each other. No. No.
What the hell is that, Dad?
Aggression. All right,
Keith. Have fun.
Oh! And there
Chaos.
we go.